pop, 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 pop. Oh my goodness, kitties, 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 kitties. I love cats, but I like dogs too. I like cats and dogs. I like dogs and cats. I like cats and the dogs, and the dogs and the cats, and the dogs and the cats, and the cats and the dogs. Cats and dogs. No dad jokes allowed. Oh my gooba. I would be canceled for. Oh, never mind. Let me not say it. Look. Boop, 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 boop. He can eat her. She.
Digital.
Oh my golly gooba. Oh my goodness. We gotta watch this video. No. Oh my goodness. You know what? We gotta watch this video then. You are the queen of blinguses. Oh my golly gooba. It's the dooloo. It's the boomba. The boom 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 ba 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 bing bum bing bum bing bum bing bum bing bum. Hi the lulu. Hi the lulu. How are you? No. Okay. Oh my goodness. How does everybody load the oh my goodness. We gotta watch the video now. Here we start the recording. What is up, everyone? It's your girl JJ, and we're gonna be watching how Vtuber got fired for a dad joke she made 5 years ago. Let's go watch this video.
Footprint. The idea that no matter what you do on the internet stays on the internet and can be found by someone else at a later date. And that, of course, includes any potential future employers. In fact, there are numerous studies in multiple countries that go through this. How people have genuinely lost opportunities due to what they said or did on social media. So what would you do if a dream job of yours got taken away from you due to something that you said on the internet almost 5 years ago?
Oh no.
Well, that's exactly what happened to one of the most recognizable English-speaking VTubers on the planet, Ura from HoloLive. You see, other than being a VTuber, she also happens to be a talented voice actor.
Oh my!
This is why for her, getting to voice in the game Eternal Return, a MOBA game that's pretty popular in South Korea, was an opportunity that she very much looked forward to. Especially seeing that she was going to represent a character that was very hyped by the community.
Ooh.
So imagine her shock, as she had already voiced this character to completion. As we were nearing the release date for this character, she would find out through a random public post from the Japanese Twitter page of the game that she was getting fired effective immediately.
Bro.
The reason? A terrible joke that she had made around 5 years ago back in 2021. A one-liner.
For real?
And when I say terrible joke, I don't mean that it was offensive or anything. No, terrible as in it was a dad joke. It was the most harmless, lamest thing you've ever heard in your life. To say that this decision had caused controversy is an understatement because it caused an earthquake. So much so that it might have single-handedly destroyed any chance this game has of reaching a non-South Korean audience. So what the hell happened and how did we get here? Well, let's talk about it. Alright, so the studio at the center of this controversy is none other than Nimble Neuron. It was established shortly before the pandemic as a result of a merger from two different
I choked on my cereal, my bad.
Studios. After that merger, they would decide to work on their main project, Eternal Return: Black Survival. And on October 14th, 2020, it would come out on Steam Early Access. Now, it's easy to mistake Eternal Return as some indie game that wouldn't make much of an impact in the gaming industry. But not everyone shared that opinion. Like, for example, Kakao Games, one of the biggest gaming conglomerates in South Korea, who would partner up with Nimble Neuron to publish the game.
You have more choking experience. Let's be so for real. I know you're choking on someone right now. Like, be so for real. Shut up, Delulu.
This partnership would allow them to take the marketing of the game to the next level. That's because, okay, listen, the K-pop group aespa would drop a music video for the song Next Level in collaboration with Eternal Return. You simply don't see this every day, even in South Korea, the land of K-pop. aespa in particular wasn't some low-tier K-pop group that no one had heard of. It must have cost a fortune to hire them to do this. Kakao Games was putting a lot of hope in Eternal Return, and I mean, why is that? What made this game so special? Well, it's combined two of the most popular gaming genres in South Korea together. The first one being MOBAs, like League of Legends or Dota 2. The other genre that was combined with MOBAs was Battle Royales. You might think it's a dead genre, especially with their diminished popularity in the West, but man, are they still popular in Asia. In fact, PUBG makes most of its revenue right now from China, and they're also pretty damn popular in South Korea. So, with these two genres combined, Kakao Games was hoping to make bank here. But how did the game work? Well, it would start with you landing on the map with your team, and you would try to find the best gear in different loot boxes. You would level up in a multitude of different ways, like attacking NPCs, and eventually you would bring the fight to other players. The early access version of the game would come out with quite a bit of different characters. But overall, back in 2020, this was somewhat of a brand new concept, and it definitely had a very steep learning curve. It would prove to be popular, especially in South Korea, and 3 years later, it would release, going from being called Eternal Return Black Survival to just Eternal Return. A year later, the partnership between Nimble Neuron and Kakao Games would dissolve, which meant that Nimble Neuron would become the sole publisher of the game. Now, there could be a variety of reasons for that, but one of them is probably the fact that this game has had a hard time growing. By June 2023, the game had almost died, with 5,000 concurrent players, down from 50,000 during its early access release.
Tron, you don't make games, but you do all this like tech stuff, right? What's a good numbers to have for like video games or something like that, right? Or does it depend on how much like you put into a game, right? Because like if you have 5,000 concurrent players, right? Does it matter if they all like spend money, or like how do you base like what's a good amount, or like what's a good return on investment in terms of a video game?
But it did get somewhat of a boost after finally releasing on Steam, like the full release. I think Kakao Games was expecting it to be way more successful, and today, it peaks at around 20,000 players every day. But here's the problem. When South Koreans go to sleep, the player count goes to nothing. Meaning that even in 2026, this game's demographic is only located in one region of the world. It simply wasn't successful enough in spreading to other regions, most notably the West. Now, as of today, this game has way more characters than it used to back in early access. They also happen to be the main monetization mechanic that this game possesses, whether it's you buying a character or buying them skins. This means that a lot of effort is put into every single one of these characters, whether it be their design, their kit, right, their abilities, and their voice, their personality. If they can nail all these factors together in a character, it means they'll make the most amount of money. So back in January of 2026, when we got a reveal of two different characters coming out soon, the community was very excited over their designs. But out of those two, the character Baehyung really stood out. She looked different than many of the other already existing characters, and she seemed to have a vibrant and interesting...
She does have a nice design overall. Like overall, this aesthetic is very popping, very colorful. There's a lot to look at, but it doesn't come off as like very jarring to the eyes. So like the green is a very good contrast to the black and red that the outfit has.
Interesting personality. At the same time, for Nimble Neuron, this presented itself as a very important opportunity. This is because they would hire Dotavu as its English voice actress. This is someone with a large fan base who just so happens to be quite experienced in voice acting, having started doing it back in 2014 and possessing an impressive, diverse resume. The person behind Dotavu also just so happens to be the same person behind Uro Crony, one of the most recognizable English VTubers under the corporation HoloLive. Now yes, she isn't just talented enough to bring out the personality of this character, but she also just so happens to have a very large and loyal audience. More importantly, a large and English-speaking loyal audience, one that is located in the West, the demographic that Nimble Neuron is specifically targeting for its growth. This meant that as soon as the character released, many of her audience would have downloaded the game just to check it out for her. It was genius, and yet, that entire plan was squandered when Eternal Return would randomly only on its Japanese account on Twitter, announced to the world that Urochrony was being fired, even though the character was close to release. The reasoning? A dad joke from 5 years ago. Eternal Return has multiple different Twitter accounts for multiple regions. They have one in English, they have one in South Korean, they have one in Japanese, etc., etc. On May 7th, 2026, they would tweet out a notice outlining the fact that Baehyung's voice actress was going to be replaced and giving us their logic. It would be viewed almost 4 million times, and as you can see from the comment to like ratio and the fact that the post got ratioed multiple times, yeah, people weren't very happy about that. They would also post the same statement on their website. I'll read that one because the one on Twitter was translated from Japanese to English and it's not really a perfect translation. Here's what they'd have to say. Hello Lumia Island survivors. Thank you for your support for our newest character, Baehyung. Unfortunately, we will be recasting her English voice actor, which means Baehyung will temporarily not have an English voice in-game. We will announce more details about the recasting and update schedule separately. So this character that people were excited about that was meant to get a new audience in the West is coming out with no English voice. This is how drastic this is. This usually only happens if the voice actor in question, I don't know, like causes a crime, is accused of like messaging minors or something. Like this is drastic. They're not even releasing this character with her voice and then replacing it later. No, they're releasing her mute. Anyway, they would continue. At the moment, our English voice casting is supported by external partners. The process operates as an audition, where the development team receives voice samples for a blind test from applicants to select the final voice. However, without an extensive database of overseas voice actors, our pre-casting screening process is admittedly weaker than our domestic one. In coordination,
I think that's kind of crazy. All this for just a dad joke. Like, I bet you the dad joke is like so tame, and they're just gonna be like, yeah, like it's it's insane. Let's see what it's gonna be about. Oh my goodness, bro! Imagine. Oh my goodness, bro! Oh my goodness, if they saw a game of the way we play Repo, shit. Okay, Delulu, I'm in the middle of reacting. Like, go choke on a wiener. Like, be so for real. Like, I'm sorry I could not respond. I literally said, "What's up, Goku?" Like, oh my goodness, Delulu. Like, if that's the case, why don't you just say, like, dang, like, hey, Goku, she's literally in the middle of doing something. Like, oh, I'll say hi for her behalf. Like, beef, you think of bangus. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, she's really trying to make me crash out right now. Oh my goodness. Sheesh. Oh my goodness. Evil Gohan, evil. Goku was here. Oh my goodness, thinking, you know, Delicious can be evil Chi-Chi at this point. It's like, am I lying? Yes, you are, because I literally said, hi, Goku. I literally said, hi, Goku. I say, hi, Goku. Like, thinking, maybe if you heard, but you're thinking our bad instructions, bad listening, thinking bad everything, you won't even hug Hiyori. You know what? I don't even want to hug you. I think I don't even want to look at you. Thinking, bang this, thinking, go chuck out. Oh my, you know what? You know why she didn't hear me? Because I'll have this thinking voice. She's thinking like thinking because she's a voice thought.
With our local casting partners, we would like to provide additional context to ensure a clearer understanding of the casting process. While our casting process for the English-speaking market involves only legal names and includes background checks, the information available through our contractual relationships made the current situation difficult to predict. As reinforcing this verification process exceeds the scope of our local partners' responsibilities, we will be looking for effective ways to independently implement a secondary verification system in the future. While it is difficult to implement structural changes quickly within the current system, we are actively looking for effective ways to improve and reinforce our verification process. So this is them essentially saying, hey,
I'm leaving. I'm not staying for this. Are you sure you could leave after the stuff you went through last night? Sheesh, I'm surprised you could thinking, huh. Thinking, I heard the squeaking last night. Yeah, I'm surprised you. I'm surprised. Let me know. Listen, they call her work them streets Lulu for a reason. That's all I gotta say. Sheesh. Thinking, where my subs at, the Lulu? Where my singing subs at? You thinking Bingus wiener eater? What happened last night, man? Yeah, okay. Like she don't know what she be doing. Thinking, listen, the minute she be hearing them voices, she's like, speak to me more, please. Like, oh my god. She's like, can you please call me a good girl? Like, bro, I see the messages you be writing. I be see the messages you be writing. Be so for real, Delulu. Thinking, and now everyone else is gonna know. Yep.
Our external partners fucked up. They could have done a better job. We're going to step in to ensure there's another layer of verification for whoever we cast for English voice acting, making it seem like they had hired someone like Dr. Disrespect by mistake. This made it sound like whatever the voice actress behind Baehyung did was drastic. It was unforgivable to the point where the character had to release muted. This spread quickly, and even the English-speaking community of Eternal Return was dumbfounded. To them, even though they didn't watch VTubers, this was still a big deal, because this game, as I told you already, was lacking in English-speaking players, in Western players. Having a voice actress with such a large following was a major step for this game to finally spread to non-South Koreans. So what could have the voice actress possibly done here to warrant getting fired publicly to the point where we can't even hear her voice? Well, the reason for this firing was because of a joke she had made almost 5 years ago while she was playing the early access version of this game during a sponsored stream. The stream itself was done on Uro Crony's channel, okay? Not on Dotovu's channel. This is like you working at, I don't know, Microsoft and having a side business on Etsy and someone telling you they can't work with you on your Etsy because you work at Microsoft. It doesn't make any sense. In any case, the stream was from November 8th, 2021, and as I said, this whole stream was sponsored by Eternal Return. Here is the joke that lost her this job and made Eternal Return fumble the opportunity of a lifetime. Watch.
He's such a bore.
I'm gonna go.
A boring. Ha 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 ha.
That's it. That's that is it. This is the joke.
What is the joke?
Make this statement.
What is the joke? Hold up. There was a joke? Hold up. I'm straight up so lost. There's a joke? There's a joke? There's a joke?
In any case, the stream was from November 8th, 2021, and as I said, this whole stream was sponsored by Eternal Return. Here is the joke that lost her this job and made Eternal Return fumble the opportunity of a lifetime. Watch.
He's such a bore.
I'm gonna go.
A boring. Ha 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 ha.
That's it.
Where's the dad joke in that? Chat, tell me where's the dad joke in that? I'm genuinely sticking lost. I don't even hear a dad a boring, like... explain the joke! Explain the joke to me, because what? Like... Oh yeah, oh snap, they would not last Yuno's repo night, that's for sure. Sheesh. Imagine if I was in a... Sheesh, imagine us... Oh my goodness, best joke. Bruh, imagine them seeing our repo nights. Oh. Tell me, I generally need to understand it too. Yeah, I wouldn't be able to get a job in South Korea apparently. Sheesh. Especially with chat, our repo be spiked. Tell that to the certain bird. So, sheesh. Tell that to Delulu because she's our little voice dot, low key. So, yeah. Oh my goodness.
That is it. This is the joke that made them make this statement, making it seem like she had murdered someone while drunk driving. She saw a boar and she
You missed the joke. I don't even know what the joke is. I literally listened to it twice.
called it boring. That's it. Like, come on, dude.
Boring.
Like, you really have nothing else to do in your life?
That's the joke.
Anyway,
it's
around the time of her firing.
The joke is boring. Like, it's a boring bore. It's a boring bore. It's not even it's not even about that. It's a dad joke. Oh my goodness.
Who would make this statement on Twitter, saying, coming from someone whose English is also not their first language, if English is not a language you're fluent in, I hope you are able to first analyze and understand what wordplay and a genuinely harmful comment is before taking action. This has always been a constant problem I've had with some individuals where they would process my words through a rough translator and twist my words. It was hurtful to see this, but I didn't think it could be harmful, but I see how mistranslations towards myself could make a negative impact. I hope those who would misconstrue words through a mistranslation could reflect on how their seemingly innocent action can impact others and be more careful with their actions. As for individuals who misconstrue with ill intent in mind, I sincerely hope you can grow as a person. I won't lie, taking opportunity over this is quite hurtful, but there are more projects on the horizon to look forward to that I constantly audition for with my own efforts as a voice actor and not through anything else. Thank you to those who I was able to work with, and to the people who was excited for me, I'll continue to do better. Dotavu had gotten this role not because she just so happens to be Urocrony at HoloLive, right? Even Eternal Return in their dogshit statement admitted this. Their external partners get voice samples for a blind test. That is it. Then they move forward with them or reject them. Dotavu doesn't just go around saying, hey, I work at HoloLive. No, she wants to actually earn it herself, right? And when it came to Baeyoung, she did. However, seeing that her double identity isn't really kept secret, some South Korean fans of the game would look into her sponsored streams from almost 5 years ago and see that she had made this joke. Now, of course, if you're an English speaker, you'd know that this is just a terrible dad joke pun. This is not offensive. This is not meant to be offensive in any way. But these fans just translated this and thought she was calling the game boring. And by calling the game boring, she had committed a cardinal sin. How dare she voice in my game if she thinks it's...
Oh my goodness. Oh, so the fans are stupid, essentially. Like, yeah, there's a thing. Hello, Felix. There's a thing with mistranslations, but there's a boar, and she made a joke saying boring. No, she didn't call the game boring. She called the boar calling boring. Like, okay. Yeah.
Boring.
Okay.
They went ahead and complained to the developer, and the developer, instead of telling them "F off, get a life," chose to actually side with them, fearing that they could lose their most important demographic. Around the same time the Dotavu tweet was made talking about this, Urocrony's account would tweet something that wasn't as serious, saying, "Breaking news. A tire is tiring and a boar is boring. If you found this pun to be controversial, then hospital." Someone replied with, "Gasp, you can't just say that," to which she said, "Sorry for puns." So it seemed like at least on her Urocrony account she was taking this jokingly, lightly, because at the end of the day it is a very ridiculous situation. On the initial post made by Eternal Return on their Japanese account, people were absolutely outraged. If you want to go through them individually, you can pause the video. I mean, look at all this. They are cooking them. Many talking about how they didn't even know this game existed until Dotavu talked about it. This was the fumble of a century. But not everyone thought this way, of course. There were two sides to this story. The first one, of course, being outraged over how stupid this is, but the other side being the South Koreans who wanted her out of the game. Those people would be outraged that she would tweet, "Breaking news, a tire is tiring and a boar is boring," saying things like, "No sense of professionalism whatsoever." And instead of reflecting on their actions, they get pissed off and fill up on nothing but pissing contests. It's truly pathetic to watch. They would allege that what she was doing is trash talking, and even say things like, "If you just kept your mouth shut, you'd probably think, oh, even so, I was just cracking my usual dumb jokes out of habit and got unfairly cornered for a slip-up." But instead of an apology or even the slightest remorse, what the hell is this? Dragging this account into it and telling me to go to the hospital? They really were making it seem like she had murdered someone, right? Even objectively speaking, this is outrage that doesn't really match what was actually done. This South Korean player here, though, was a bit more reasonable with their explanation, saying this: "I hope you can all understand the sentiments of Koreans. Although there were many people who were too angry, Koreans are very sensitive about paid activities, such as advertising. They don't prefer jokes that can be taken in a negative way. In this case, boring and boring." So this was the other side.
Okay, so sounds like... Okay, so... The sentiment... That doesn't help, not gonna lie. That really doesn't help their case. Hey, Ocean. That does not help their case at all. I don't know. That's just kind of really bad.
Side of the story, right? They felt like she didn't really take it seriously, like she was being unprofessional. But what didn't help is that many people who held this opinion expressed it in a very aggressive manner, making the average person feel like this was being blown out of proportion to ridiculous levels. Like, look at this guy saying, "Didn't prepare at all for the ad broadcast. Went so far as to put even the colleagues she was working with in a tough spot with an over-the-top workplace stunt. 5 years later, applied to that game with a voice actor account. Got dropped due to controversy over the above actions. Then she wrote a post picking a fight with the existing game fans. Don't compress this into something boring." So this to them was inexcusable. What she had done was insanely bad. It's one of the worst things you can do as a content creator. And almost every account talking about this would be rooting for the same thing. What they really wanted from her for this to be okay was an apology. They wanted her to boot up the stream and say, guys, I am so sorry for what I did and how I behaved during the stream 5 years ago. But other than this really harmless joke, what else could she have possibly done that made them think that she was unprofessional? Well, the user FishyFishyDodo actually wrote a Google Doc summarizing this entire drama. In this, he would offer us some bonus info about how other streamers had actually played this game back during early access in 2020 and how they all struggled getting to know its mechanics because this is a very high barrier to entry game. So this unprofessionalism that some of these South Koreans were complaining about was the fact that Urochrony didn't do enough research, didn't get acclimated enough with the game before her sponsored stream, even though she won a game. And in this document, we'd actually see an example of XQC playing it back in October 2020, and he also struggled to understand the mechanics of this game. He had no idea what the hell was going on, and his chat was constantly making fun of the game and how bad it was, even though this as well was a sponsored stream, making the argument that maybe, just maybe, these angry fans were expecting a bit too much from content creators during a sponsored segment. So by now, the fact that she got fired over the most harmless pun and the fact that she wasn't passionate about the game enough made this entire situation seem like the biggest nothing burger of all time. It made the developer seem like they had no spine and that they were easily bullied by the worst aspects of their community, and more importantly in all this, it hurt the game very badly.
Well, my thing is, even if she got fired, don't they still gotta pay her? Like, she still did the work. Like, if they don't want us thinking use her voices, whatever, but she already did the lines. If they want us thinking not use her lines because I'm boring. Something that was 4 years ago, by the way. It's just like, boring. It's just like, because first of all, the developer could have been like, oh yeah, this is not, it's literally a joke based off of the bore that they say, not based off of like the game itself. Okay, yeah, no. Like, oh my goodness, I would be crashing out.
This is what we call consequences. Look, it's no secret at this point. South Koreans are going extinct. Now, there are many reasons for that, like, for example, the cost of living crisis happening all over the world. More importantly, though, men and women hate each other for a multitude of different reasons, but it's gotten very ugly. So this had quickly gone from, are you stupid, you fired her over a joke, into a nasty battle, alleging that the reason why Urochrony got fired was because a bunch of Korean incels convinced the developer to fire her. The fact that the only reason she was targeted was because she was both a woman and a Vtuber. In this video, we're not going to go too deep into that radioactive wasteland of death and despair. You should know, though, that it did devolve into a battle like that, which of course made this developer look...
Yeah, when they said a dad joke, I thought it meant like something like offensive, like an offensive dad joke, like, oh, looks like he went to get the milk. What they mean is like it's a corny cringe joke. So they mean it's like it's a corny joke, like what a theorist uses in his chat, where it's just like dad joke of a day. It's just like, yeah, a dad joke is a lame joke. Yeah, it's like, it doesn't mean that it has to exactly be about your dad. It just means that it's a lame joke, and she did a lame joke, and I was like, oh, okay.
Even worse. Are you really catering to incels? Well, that's what it seemed like to many. At the same time, even though Urochrony had initially wanted to take this lightly, jokingly, it seemed like seeing so many people try to twist her words and attitude got to her. And so on May 7th, she tweeted, I really wanted to play Silk Song and talk with everyone, but I think I'm just going to have to take the day off. I'll be back soon, so be good everyone. Thank you for all that you do. This of course made her audience even more outraged at this company and how they were trying to ruin her name for no reason. Soon you'd see many content creators for the game Eternal Return come out and speak about this, saying things like, as an Eternal Return content creator, it's really sad to see the state of ER right now, but I want to say I'm super proud of how the English community has banded together to support Crony. Every Discord server I'm in is rioting about the unfairness of it. People are banding together with bore icons, bore names, and demanding nimble neuron response. Regardless of the outcome, I'm super proud of everyone. We might flame each other sometimes and get frustrated, but we're still a community, and it shows in times like this. So this had essentially become a movement, right? Now, everyone in protest is putting on the bore icon. And Nimble Neuron, I think, by now understands that appeasing the small amount of loud, toxic players pisses off the majority. Here we have an official English caster for the game Eternal Return during tournaments, tweeting, the Korean Eternal Return community thinks they're doing us a favor, but in reality just lost one of the biggest opportunities for the West to grow over a pun that wasn't even directed towards the game. Most of the people upset probably don't even use English voice acting. Huge disappointment. Yeah, that's a very good point. It seems, right? It seems, I'm not going to say it's 100% true, but it seems like most of the people pissed off at Crony are South Korean. They don't even play the game in English, so what's the problem? But hey, listen, it's still important to note, not all South Koreans are like this, obviously. Here's someone from South Korea saying, this is exactly fucking why I hate my own country's web community.
Sheesh.
Toxic about things they are not even able to certainly understand about it. Those fuckers and losers just couldn't resist from cyberbullying. Great job. What a great fucking job. Hope you guys are proud.
Oh.
So as always, it's not black.
So, yeah, like... yeah, I heard this is actually pretty common. Like, again, it's not everyone, but like in South Korea, like it's like kind of like a bandwagon mentality. I mean, I think we have it over here too, but like, like there's a lot of things that people do that will like get people riled up, and it's like instead of asking questions, honestly, it has happened to even me before. Like instead of asking questions, they're just gonna go on that bandwagon, and like you know, with streaming, it happens time and time again. It's just like instead of asking questions, they're gonna be like, "Well, oh yeah, that makes plenty of sense. That makes plenty of sense." So obviously, that's gonna be true, and it's just like they just want to have a reason to hate someone. So yeah, it's like. Yeah, I can see why. It's like especially with how it is over there. I forgot how people call that society over there, but yeah, it is definitely one of those societies that is that they literally, I think a lot of the places you have to have like a photo with your face or not photo with your resume with your face on it to even get a job, and it's like, oh dang, they're trying to see if you're even good looking enough to get a job. It's like, dang.
Black and white, there's always nuance. Not every South Korean is okay with this. Another Eternal Return content creator would speak out and would write a lengthy post. In summary, he'd say that he was really excited to see the English side of the game finally get some support after being neglected for so long. But now this opportunity has passed, and it's time to move on and not do the same mistake again. But can we really move on from this without an apology from Eternal Return for their dumbass mistake? Probably not. The game got review bombed on Steam, showing that they were truly not appeasing the majority of people with their decision. They were just appeasing a minority. The game today, when it comes to recent reviews, sits at mostly negative, with only 27% of the last 1,700 reviews being positive. This story spread like wildfire, whether it be on Twitter, whether it be in news articles, whether it be in videos like this one. People who have never heard of the game are now aware of its existence and will probably never play it because they'll constantly be reminded of this. No, unlike what you might have already been told, not all publicity is good publicity. I had never heard of this game before. Many people had never heard of this game before. And now when someone thinks of Eternal Return, they'll think of how they can't handle a dad joke. They'll also ironically think of the word boring. This is now officially the fate of this game, forever associated with the word boring over one of the dumbest decisions I have seen in recent history. But hey, a few days after taking a break, Urocrony would come back on May 10th and would tweet out, "I've noticed and have read them. Thank you. Best community ever, and I feel loved. As always, I will never take it for granted. Thank you." So hey, in the end, Urocrony lost a voice acting role she was looking forward to. Whatever. She still has her incredible community to thank, and as she had already mentioned, has a lot of interesting projects lined up. Those projects will benefit not just from a very talented voice actress, but also from a very loyal community. Something that Eternal Return and their developer Nimble Neuron will never get to experience because of their dumbass decision making. I hope that Urocrony continues to make the worst dad jokes in existence, and I hope that other developers can see and learn from this so that they don't seek to appease the wrong people with their decisions. Thank you so much for watching until the end. I really appreciate it. If you want to see some extra yapping videos from me, then definitely make sure to check out stacked.com.
Okay, chat, what do you guys think of the video? Are you serious, Chungus? You really came to the end of the video just to laugh at me? That is some disrespect right there. You're such a wiener eater. Jeez, this is why you're bingus. Lulu is a bully. Lulu is a bully. Ron bullies me. Okay, Chungus bullies me. What the turd? This is why all y'all's a bunch of wiener eaters. Be so for real. Oh, yeah. Okay, so this video... Really, Delulu? You're just gonna say hi to Chungus? Really? Not even, like, bad Chungus or any... Wow! Okay, so y'all are just chumming. Okay, go choke on each other's nuts. Like, be so for real. What the turd? So this video... Yeah, this drama was just stupid, not gonna lie. Mods are bullies here. They really are. I'm not gonna put you in a corner or anything. Okay, I like how they're not even gonna answer my question. Thinking these little crackheads. Thinking I asked them a question. They're here like me. Blah 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 blah. You know what? End of the video because all my thinking chatters are a bunch of crackheads. Bleep you. Thinking I can't with these wiener eaters. Oh my gooba. Only got 5 to 6 hours, he says. Proud of you. Okay. I now has okay. Okay, Delulu.
It's like
I don't crash out. Hey chat, who wants to unmod Delulu? Should we unmod Delulu? Should that be her punishment for today, huh? I think Delulu deserves to be put in the corner. How about that? You know, instead of me crashing out, we should just unmod Delulu for the day. How about that? Yeah, let's do it. Let's unmod Delulu for today. Yeah, that's enough of the crash out, huh? Because she wants me to crash out. She's like, oh yeah. They just gonna crash out. How about we just unmod her, huh? That sounds better instead of me crashing out. Yeah. She would like that, wouldn't she? I know the boss already did that for her. What if I just do it for her, huh? No, yeah, thinking like, thinking like, oh, she's gonna crash out. She's gonna crash out. You could crash out my nuts. Thinking, thinking, oh my goodness, like, me. So she purposely tried to make me crash out. Instead of actually trying to listen to me, I'm asking a question. I'm like, chat. Like, how about this chat? And she's like, what was that? Oh, Chungus. Oh, sweetheart Chungus. By the way, someone who's half her age. Oh, sweetheart Chungus. Me. So, she's like, me, Chungus. And then she's like, you know what? Go Chungus on your nuts. How about that? Blah, 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 nah. Thinking like, be so for real. Oh my goodness, like, oh my goodness, like, don't be mean to Chungus. He is not. He's a little crackhead wiener eater thinking cheese dip, like. Me. Are you really typing in Leafet's chat right now? Are y'all really typing in Leafet's chat? literally typing in Leaf's chat. What the turn's wrong with y'all? I think I see Masenko right there. Thinking putting a head pat. What the turn's wrong with y'all? I am gonna beat you all. Oh my goodness. I will crack you. Delu. Oh. Yeah, you're unmodded for today. Yeah, you're okay. Yeah, okay. Yeah, we're unmodding Delulu. She's gonna be unmodded for a week. Thinking this crackhead. Yeah, she thinks she can play around with me. Yeah. Look at. Yeah, I will. You know what? Yeah, she lost her mod. I'm a mod stepson. Unmod Delulu for today. Thinking. Yeah, she thinks it's funny. Thinking. Oh yeah. Go choke on your wiener. Yep. No, where is this at? Where's this at? Yep. Where? Yep. God, remove this. Remove this. Yep. Dun. And there we go. Yep. And stepson has been added. You know what? We're even gonna add Chungus. You know why? Cause thinking the Lulu decided to play some games today. Thinking the Lulu decided she wanted to play some funny games today. Wow, the Lulu. Actually, I'm not gonna add Chungus. No, I don't trust Chungus at all. Go choke on wiener. So the Lulu was like, oh, funny, haha. Let's go troll JJ. Yeah, you could go choke on my nuts. And I don't like when you can disrespect me like that. I literally was asking you guys questions, and you literally just disrespected me like that. I wasn't even playing around this time. So, I'm like that. No, I'm actually ticked off. Because I'm like, you literally, I've done this I literally was asking you. I literally was asking you guys questions, and you actually were disrespecting me. About the video, and she was just disrespecting me, and I was like, bro, I had questions, and then she's like, go to Leaf's chat, and that's what ticked me off, because I was like, okay, no, I'm not playing around, because I was like, bro, okay, have a good one, because I wasn't playing around when you disrespected me. I went to get something. I was literally asking questions about the video. Have a good one, Chungus. I was literally talking about the video, and you're like, oh, go to a different person's chat. No, that's not. I literally was talking about the video.